Hey guys, SpeedKing here. I just want to give a special shout out to my man MixUpFreak for joining me on the King of Fighters stream where we were talking about a bunch of KOF and where the series could possibly go. I really appreciate it and I also really enjoyed it, had lots of fun. Thank you to all you guys for coming through. And also make sure that you go and follow MixUp. He's got a great channel. He's on Twitch and YouTube and everything. It'll all be down in the description below. So guys, make sure that you give him the likes, subscribe, follow him, everything. You know, give my boy some love, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Everybody stay safe. Peace.
Particularly with its characters, and to see where the 15th entry is gonna go. I'm also just as excited as Speed, so hopefully the hype train keeps up and everything, because we got a lot of interesting things to talk about.
Christopher said, "What's up, Mix-Up?" And then he said, "I ain't gonna lie, it is beautiful." Yeah, I know, I do look pretty damn good, don't I? Yeah, that's right. You see the gold chain and shit? Yeah, you know I look good. See this ponytail? These dreads look like shit, but you know.
Bonafide, Masula, make my
But yeah, yo. So, yeah, I mean, we might as well just kick this off. I mean, we'll probably get some more people in here after a while, but, we got a few. We got, like, what do we got? With three, four? Yeah, we got, like, 4 people up in here. Let's see, Predator's up in here. Thanks for the alert, bro. But yeah, let's see. Where do I start? So, even though... I'll start off like this. So, even though we know a few things about King of Fighters 15 because obvious leaks and gameplay, live streams, all of that has been going wild. We still don't know like any of the specifics, so I guess we're still kind of in the dark about it. Cause I did see the final boss yesterday, and it didn't really give away anything. I just seen the final boss, seen the cutscene, seen the fight, but like the person who uploaded it didn't really upload any of the other cutscenes or anything, so some of the context is still kind of like missing from it. So yeah, I don't know too much. I just know who it is and what the boss fight's like and whatever, and I haven't seen anybody's endings really. I did have a chance to see Team Fatal Fury's ending, but I decided not to watch it. I just decided to skip over it. Oh, okay, good. You can hear him. Nice. But yeah, I guess we'll just start with where we think the story's gonna go. So I'll let Mix-Up go ahead and take the reins first, and then I will give my thoughts on it. But so far, to kick you off though, just so you have somewhere to start, is, let's see, where do you think the story's gonna go now that we know Orochi's not involved in it? Like Orochi's essence, his power is involved obviously, but like him himself is not actually being revived or nothing like that.
It's a very interesting question. Well, for starters, since Orochi's not really on the forefront, like, it's interesting because now we're focused more on Shun's story and origin, and it seems like him and Isla are definitely going to have a clash before, you know, the final boss makes her or its presence known. But the interesting thing about this is that they're tying almost like the past saga. Like, you even have, like, not just Orochi coming back, you have Nest agents coming back, like Kula, Angel, and, you know, the person who ran Nest, I believe, I forget what that character's name is. That character in particular obviously formed that team, and like they have like all like these interactions with each other where it's like Cave like is concerned and doesn't know where Kula is, and it's like the way I think this thing might unfold, I don't know, like, it's an interesting question because I'm not even so sure, but what I can expect is that it seems like a lot of playful banter based off of what we were talking about earlier between, like, you know, like Maya and Andy and some of like the stuff that they've leaked out. Like, it seems like that there's going to be a lot of interactions that might allude to different things that might be possible. For instance, when you said revived fighters, revived fighters from like the past of the series, like from like even the Ash story, like even Ash being a returning character and Elizabeth and whatnot. They're like now they're finally on a team again. The thing is, I'm not sure like what could happen now, because you talked about even characters like Mature and Vice who are supposed to be, you know, like ghosts in this timeline and everything, and you know they've been following Iori and whatnot, but like characters like that could make a return for like a future combat pack, and even then their story's not really rounded up, and I'm not even sure how that will tie into like the main story. But what I can tell from the Shun centerpiece, and you know from that point on, since this is more his story, I mean it seems like the way I see is like they have to basically confront where they get their powers where they come from. And that's like the only way I kind of see this whole thing panning out. It kind of is like each boss kind of goes to a different level, and who knows, like maybe with the final boss in the league, like you talked about, we could be getting like a bigger transformation than Verse himself. Like Verse, a bit challenging if you don't know how to face him in 14, but
true that.
With Isla's like, you know, powers, especially since we kind of get hints, and if you look at the main artwork for 15, it looks like the deity that's kind of in the far back of the poster and everything. Who knows like how menacing this thing is and what power it holds, because it Verse holds the power to kind of keep these fighters in like a weird twisted void and multiverse where they're kind of dead but they're not, they're like in a limbo. Who's to say like what calamity like, you know, Isla's deity could cause, especially since her powers connect to Shun. So I think in a very interesting way it could really tie a lot of, you know, knots between these two characters, and who knows, maybe Isla might be on Shun's team in the next game for all we know. But from what I see, it looks like either her powers might become a form itself, almost like how, you know, Shun's power with Verse came to be. And if I'm correct about that, if any of us are, if anyone's deducted that, it seems like we might get a follow-up with that, and it might not be too far off from what I'm saying, but that's just a theory. That's where I think it might go. But how about you? Where do you think, you know, the story could go from here? Like, you know, what do you expect to see? Like,
all right, so before I go and give my side of it, let me see what we got here in the chat. We got a few things. So I was kind of laughing when you began, because Christopher said SpeedKing125, the speedrunner, rapper, Sonic enthusiast. And then after that he said you did a good job on your DOA 6 video.
oh, thank you very much.
And then Predator says, what's up? Yo, what's up, Predator? How you doing, bro? We're doing good over here. You know, we're talking about some KOF. The stream's gonna be kind of short from, you know, my normal, but tomorrow I'll have some stuff going. You know what I mean? We're gonna be live for like more than 2 hours. We're gonna be live for like 7 hours, something like that. Gonna go ham on some streams for Saturday and Sunday. But yeah, we're just talking about KOF, talking about mainly KOF 15, but you know, we could drift off into other stuff KOF related, but we're just giving our thoughts on it and everything, because you know the game's gonna be released. Well, I know that you're a little bit further, you know, further into the day, but for you it'd be like a day away, but for everybody living in the US and whatnot, it's at least 2 days away. For anyone who pre-ordered anyway. The actual game's release isn't going to be until the 17th, so still got like roughly a week to wait for that. But yeah, good to know you guys are all doing good today. It's awesome. So yeah, let me give my my side of this. So for anybody who doesn't know, I'm just going to give a spoiler real quick, but I am going to give you fair warning, and you guys can leave the stream if you want to. You know, you can leave the stream for a few seconds and come back, or, you know, whatever, if you don't want to be spoiled, if you're going to be buying KOF-15. But I did see what happens in the final fight, and what happens in the final fight is Isla gets drained of her power, and then we end up fighting Reverse, which is a female version of Verse from King of Fighters 14. More looking like Isla, obviously, because it's from her power, and pretty OD boss. Kind of like a callback to Orochi Leona is how it fights. But yeah, that's the spoiler anyway. And then I also seen that there is going to be a second transformation to the boss. Now, from what I know, you know what I mean? I don't have the game yet or anything like that, but from what I know, the story ends there, apparently. I don't know if, like, the person who uploaded it just cut it short, or if there's going to be more after that. But at least what I think story-wise is there's definitely got to be more than one team at play. So, like, from what I know now, right, is there's obviously the hero team, and then there's going to be, I forget what Isla's team is called, but there's Isla's team and there's a hero team. They're obviously going to be part of it, but usually how KOF goes is they usually have more than 2 teams at least involved in the story, like, directly, that are, you know, canon to the overall story. So who knows? There's probably more teams, you know, just besides Sacred Treasures. I still don't even know what Sacred Treasures even really, like, really what their objective is in this new installment, because Kyo, Chizuru, and Iori, they go in what it seems like in the end of King of Fighters 14 is they seal Orochi's power. Like, they don't even have to fight him or anything. He never got resurrected. Like, they got there early, pretty much. They got there early, they were able to reseal him, and then now the seal is breaking again, so I don't know what type of role they play in this one, because it doesn't really seem like they play much of a role. It seems like the hero team has completely taken over that. But what I think, though, is going to happen with the story is, I could be completely wrong. Just like I said, I haven't seen the rest of it, but, what I think is it might do a cliffhanger. I'm not sure if they're going to do, like, a trilogy out of this, because, all I seen was the transformation. I didn't see no fight after the second transformation. So, who knows? Maybe you'd only fight that version of Isla, you know what I mean, the Orochi-powered version of her, and then after that, it could just be the end of the game right there. Or maybe it's a secret boss, I have no idea, but I think it might go into trilogy. So if it doesn't do it that way, right, I think the other possible way is that they could defeat it, but then there's going to be something still involving Isla and Shanae, because I don't think they're only going to be doing just 2 games. Like, that would be kind of short for a new saga, you know what I mean? And the newest saga literally just started with King of Fighters 14. So, there's definitely got to be something, something that's going to continue the storyline as we know it right now. So that's what I think is going to happen anyway, but, I don't know any other teams. I'm trying to think if there's any other teams that are involved with this. I don't think... I mean, obviously Hydern's involved, but I really want to know, like... I think, like, probably the very first team I'm going to play as is the Ikari team, because I really want to know their involvement, because... Obviously, Hydern is super involved, like, in every single KOF game. So, since he's back in this game... That means that the Ikari Warriors gotta play some part in it. I just don't know exactly what, though. But yeah, I think that's pretty much all I gotta say on that one.
Oh, there was something I did want to include on one of the teams. Or when you were speaking, it's like dots connected in my head. So I feel like there's one thing I wanted to include on like the teams matters in between it. It seems like each team has their own matter, but somehow it ties into the overall story. I don't know how, but the way I can compare it is if anyone really, gets what I'm talking about. You know how DOA 5 kind of had like a linear almost story, but it was like they took place during certain parts between chapters, like different character chapters or parts of it sounds confusing, but like if you've played the game you would understand it. It almost sounds like how to explain it. Sacred Treasure Team would have their own ordeal with like Orochi Team, and with that it would be like the clash of the old, kind of bringing it to the new. But then you got, Team Ash, like they're back into it. Now that connects is that Kuri's master is Dolores, and Dolores is an entity who existed before the King of Fighters tournaments. Like she made Kukri who he is, and he's actually low-key powerful. If anybody doesn't know, look him up. Like literally, he can cause dramatic sandstorms and whatnot. He can literally just kill you with the flick of his fingers. It's weird, but I feel like their involvement ties in with, the hero team, with Shun, and even with the rival team. And I think you're onto something with the Akari team playing some type of role, since Leona does look up to Edern as a father figure, and Edern's done anything in his power to protect, Leona from snapping into the riot of blood since Orochi's return has been, made apparent. And Ash's team seems like they're gonna be involved from what I see and what I think, because since Ash is now back, the one person or thing that kept him in a void verse, to find out that that thing's power is connected to one of its characters. It's gonna be interesting to see Ash's, if there is at all, like interaction with Shun, or better yet, a character like Isla by the time the finale of the event starts on the grapple. And I think it's really exciting looking at it from that point, because it almost seems like this is a game where most of the teams will probably be entangled with each other for the whole narrative point. But you're right, I feel like in the sense with the the national treasures, the sacred treasures. I feel like, with the sacred treasures, you're probably right about that, because if they're not going to play the significant role, they're probably like how they do things with like reboots or even continuing in a story. You have to keep the old idea, make it seem like the refreshed idea, but you also have to bring in like obviously next generation characters that will step up and take a mantle and play more of that role and fill those shoes. And I guess the big question comes down to, especially in terms of their narrative with these characters, is can they carry the series from this saga moving forward? I know Kyo and Iori and even the Sacred Treasures, Orochi is always going to be like one of those moments that defined the series, because the Orochi saga was epic. But
yes, it definitely was.
It's very different now in terms of like not just style, but like design, gameplay, like even just narrative. So like it makes you really like excited to know where Shun can take the series, or better yet, if a character like him can hold up, because it reminds me almost reminiscent of how like when Kay started becoming the main character from 99 moving forward through the NES like series. And some people might have thought if he wasn't like their cup of tea, they probably thought, oh, knockoff KO, he's anything but a knockoff of Kyo. Like, he's definitely his own unique character, and Kay's made his own staple in the series. Now nobody can see, like, not see him on the roster would just be weird.
Yeah.
So I hope that, like, with these characters, if they are going to take this mantle, that they can write them good enough to where they can stay on top of that, like, and like I said, like earlier, with where I see the story going from the future of it, I wasn't really speaking on so much of the game. I do obviously agree with where you thought it was going to go, but for the future, I feel like if they are going to focus on like Shun and Isla, or characters like Dolores powers and whatnot. It just depends what their motive is and how well they kind of write their characters to be. Because every other character is freaking powerful, and they have their feats and they have their wins, and they have, most importantly, it's just their whole personality. It shines through some of the stuff that they even go through. Like Iori, for instance, he can be a narcissistic prick. No offense.
Yeah, for real.
Literally wish up any teammate he wants, but he's still doing the tournament solo, regardless of if he has someone and it's guaranteed or not. His only thing is he lives for the fight, and he fights. All he wants to do is fight Kyo, and Kyo's the only character that can bring out that riot of blood in him. But yet, there's only been one rare instance where it's only been where he's killed Mature and Vice, but he's never really tapped into that as much, and they just explained that it's just a curse that was brought onto his bloodline. But despite that curse, it's one of those things where you can't see Iori not in the game, or he's so memorable because he's almost like a vigilant character. He's just kind of there. He's a main character, but he's not really super significant like Kyo and everything. He survived everything from being a tournament winner in the Orochi saga, sealing it, going through Nest, trying to take his DNA. Then you have copies of him coming through the series and everything. Ash want to take his powers, just like the rest of them, like Chizuru and Iori when that happened, and this dude was still fighting. It's every character has their own feats and their own, very interesting, ways of being developed. And I hope that with Shun, they develop him well enough. In 14, it kind of felt like it's just an introductory to him, and with Isla, I feel like we're getting the same thing. And I hope with the scenario, once the game drops, they're able to kind of live up to that and show the significance that these characters have.
True. I don't mind because spoilers, I kind of really don't have PS4 because they were out of stock during the holidays. Yeah, I remember you telling me that you couldn't get the PS4, Christopher. But yeah, okay, that's good though. That you don't mind the spoilers. Let's see. Last things I want to touch up on when it comes to the story was that there's two things I was thinking of when you said Ash and Iori. What's crazy about Ash's whole thing here is that it obviously makes sense that him and Elizabeth would end up on a team together. Not just because they're family. I mean, well, they're not I don't know how much of the Ash story that you know of, MixUp, but they aren't blood related or anything like that. He got adopted.
Yeah, I'm aware of that.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, so for them being, stepbrother, stepsister type thing, not just that only making sense would be the reason why they're on a team, but the other reason is because she's the only one who remembers who Ash is. So what's funny is that if you guys haven't seen it already, I already know MixUp has, and a few of you other guys have seen it, but for anybody who joins here that hasn't seen my YouTube video on my top 10 missing characters in King of Fighters 15, which I just uploaded today, I did talk about Shen and Duolon in that video. And what's funny now is now that we're talking about this, right? I want those two characters definitely to be DLC if possible, but that's how they're gonna show up in this game, is DLC, because let's see, Shen he could show up, but he's not gonna have that much of a, they're gonna have to completely rewrite his story, because his whole story was that he always wanted to enter the King of Fighters tournament, and then he ended up meeting Ash purely on accident. Him and Ash never even knew each other. So he's I believe they said he was from Taiwan. So he's a fighter from Taiwan. He's a champion fighter, and he always wanted to be in the KOF tournament, but he never got an invite. And then Ash happened to bump into him, and then knew who he was, and then that's how that thing sort of happened. But since he doesn't know who Ash is, there's going to be no point. Like in 13, for instance, him and Duo Lon actually wanted to hunt down Ash because Ash went and screwed them both over for his own gain. I mean, obviously it was to protect the world and also protect his sister, but still, it doesn't, you know, it doesn't sit well with everyone knowing that they all got screwed over. So, there's that with Ash, but she's the only, Elizabeth is the only one who actually remembers who Ash is. Everybody else forgets. It's kind of weird, because, like, you know, they're not blood related, so she shouldn't remember Ash at all, but that's the way that they wrote the story. So, all the way through 13, well, not all the way through 13, the ending of 13, I meant to say, and all the way through 14, she's the only one who remembers who he is. And now that he's back, obviously they're going to be teamed up together. Who was the third member of their team? Oh yeah, Kukri. Yeah, so
yeah, it was Kukri.
Yeah, so Kukri, and then obviously, you know, you were talking about the Kukri and Dolores thing, so
yeah,
that obviously makes sense of how Ash would be tied into it, since he knows Kukri, and they end up forming a team together, which, you know, kind of tethers him. It tethers him to Kukri, which Kukri is obviously tethered to Dolores, so they all kind of intertwine with each other's stories that way, so it all makes sense. But yeah, there was that. Who was the other character I was going to talk about? So there's Ash and
was it
Iori. Iori, that's what it was. It was Iori. So Iori, yeah, I don't know exactly what the Sacred Treasures team is going to do, because, like, I don't know, they got to be doing something behind the scenes, because they're definitely not the main focus. Like, and it's weird, because you think that they would be the main focus, because this seems pretty damn important. Because you have a lot of characters being resurrected, as in, you know, the whole Orochi team is back. So since we got Ash, we got the Orochi team, all of that, like, it makes sense for Ash to be there. Yeah, but the Orochi team, not really. I mean, yeah, they can try to resurrect him and everything, but I did not see any glimpses of them at all. I don't know if they got killed early on in the tournament or what. Who knows? Maybe that's the reason why Sacred Treasures doesn't really take the forefront in this. Maybe they're behind the scenes and they know that the Orochi team is back, so maybe their mission is to take out the Orochi team. I mean, that can make sense. You know what I mean? Because, like, obviously, Matemkun, Shanae, and Benimaru, which is weird. Benimaru is actually going to be in the forefront. Like, he's actually going to be a character that doesn't usually be in the background, because that's it's crazy. Because if you know anything about Benimaru usually he's usually just the side character. Like, him and Daimon really don't contribute much to the story. They just do things behind the scenes. They're mostly like Goro Daimon. I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it. Goro Daimon, he just doesn't give a shit. He's just there just because he's friends with Kyo and Benimaru. So he never gave a damn about anything that happened within the KOF tournaments. But Benimaru, he's always been investigating things. He's always been put in that role where he investigates everything that's happening behind the scenes. Does he act upon it? Mostly no, but I mean, that could change now. I mean, now he definitely is acting upon it, because now he's not just doing research, you know, obviously looking out for Kyo and also for everyone else, but now he's actually taking matters into his own hands with Shanae, so that's actually a huge level up for his character. So Benimaru is definitely going places in this story, that's for sure. But yeah, with the whole Iori thing, I would like to see, you know what we haven't seen, actually, is, it's gonna be interesting. He doesn't remember, so him, Kyo, and Chizuru don't remember Ash. So what's gonna be funny is that Ash clearly remembers them. He remembers everyone. So what's gonna be funny is that if they do actually bump into each other, I wonder how Ash is going to take it exactly. I wonder if he's going to nod to things that happened, or if he's just going to leave it. Not
But
like
I feel like
not like I think it would really I don't think it would really shift the story too much. It's just I think it would be funny if he did mention things from KOF 11, because that's kind of where everything popped off, was KOF 11. He took out well, already by then he took out Chizuru in KOF 2003. And when I looked back at it, because I had to do some, I had to make sure all my research was good for my top 10 video. You know, I had to make sure that all of my things were right that I was talking about. When I went back through it, I completely forgot that he actually just sneak attacked everybody. So, yeah, Ash is an asshole. Fucking he let the main teams. He even dropped out of the 2003 tournament. That's the funny thing. He dropped out on purpose. That way he could take everybody by surprise. So he has done that to the main teams, and he has done that to his own team. So Ash is an asshole. He let what was it? 2003. He let Chizuru, Kyo, and Iori fight against Mukai. Then when they didn't do any damage to Mukai, when he was completely unaffected, Ash comes out of nowhere, cripples Chizuru. Cripples her, reaches into her chest, takes her sacred treasure, and he just rolls the fuck out, because he needed the Yada Mirror. The Yada Mirror can make it to where she can make after images of herself, and she can, you know, like teleport and everything. So he ended up having the power of teleportation after that. So he immediately got the hell out of there before Kyo could do anything. And Kyo was pissed off. Iori couldn't really give a damn, which is pretty messed up, but there was how that happened. And then afterwards, he took advantage again at 11, because in King of Fighters 11, they fight the main boss. Then when Kyo was exhausted, Iori got exposed to the Riot of Blood again. Tried to kill Kyo. He beat the hell out of Shingo. Shingo tried to defend Kyo. And when he tried to kill him, that's when Ash had his opportunity again, because Iori wasn't paying attention, so he took his sacred treasure too. So this dude literally, he takes sacred treasures, then he just dips out before anybody can do anything. So obviously everybody was all beaten up and destroyed by the end of 11, so literally nobody could do anything to him. Elizabeth was going to fight Ash at the end, but obviously he used the Yada Mirror again to just piece the hell out. Yeah, so the guy's kind of a damn scumbag, so, you know, I wouldn't put it past him to go up to, like, Iori or Kyo or Chizuru and mention some things of the past, and then they all be sitting there confused and whatnot. But, yeah, that'd be kind of interesting. I want to see some interaction between them. I just don't know at what extent you could do it, because, I mean, obviously, it's one-sided. Only he remembers everything. Since everybody else doesn't remember anything, he could just leave it as is, and it really wouldn't affect much. Either way, no matter what happens with that interaction, it's not going to change anything with the main story. But it would still be interesting. Let's see, what else we got? So, we just got done talking about what we think story-wise, right? So, let's talk about DLC then. So DLC, obviously this is tricky. I mean, it just comes down to both of our educated guesses, to be honest, because there's no real way of how SNK does DLC. I mean, like, SNK is the type of company that does not try to tie in any of the DLC teams. Even in King of Fighters 14, none of the DLC were tied into the main story at all. It was just they were there, they were DLC, that was it. And they're pretty much going to do the same thing here, because Geese does not play a pivotal role in here, and neither does Rock or anybody from Garo. So, yeah, we got the two teams anyway. We got the Team Southtown and Team Garo. We still got two more other teams. I think when are they coming? They were coming. I think it's like August was when the third team is coming, something like that. July, August, something like that. And then way at the end of the year is when the fourth team is coming. But yeah, I guess we can take our guesses at what DLC teams we think would come up. So I guess I'll go first on this. So from what I could gather, right, they're not doing it random like King of Fighters 14. So 14, the DLC was all random. Nobody was on a team together, you know what I mean? They weren't official teams at all. They were all just really random. This one's a little bit more organized. So since we have Team Southtown, that's Yamazaki, Billy, and Geese. And then we have Team Garo, which is Gato, Rock, and
Bonet Janae.
yeah, Bonet Janae. There we go. I was drawing a blank. So since we have those teams, right? Those are all teams that make sense. Team comprising all of Garo members. Team comprising all of Fatal Fury / KOF. And they all know each other, you know what I mean? They're all tied in to each other in some way. So I guess that's how I'm going to have to make my guesses. So I think the next two teams that they would put... Damn, it could really be anybody at this point, to be honest. I guess I would have to go with... Also, it doesn't have to make sense either, now that I think about it, because the other teams that we have in here, right, are teams that we never thought that we would see. Like, Team Superheroines is weird. Like, Athena, Mai, and Yuri. Like, that shit's just obviously weird. So I guess any weird team would happen too. Like, I guess the teams don't have to make sense. I got a really strong feeling, just because of Ash, right? I got a really strong feeling that Shen and Duolon will come back. Duolon's got a really, like... He has a really, really unique moveset. Like, super unique. Like, there's no character in KOF that even comes close to his moveset. It's actually that ridiculous. And then, I don't know, a little less on Shen. I do believe he'll come in, but a little less on Shen, because Shen kind of fights like Yashiro. Like, him and Yashiro are pretty damn similar, with, like, the whole, like, mostly punching thing. Like, I mean, like, they do kicks and everything, but, like, their whole, moveset does revolve around punches. And then I guess I need a last character for that, so...
Yeah, they are heavy hitters.
Shen, Duolon. Shen, Duolon. Who would go good with those two?
Ooh, Oswald.
Oswald?
Just think about it. He was on a team with Shen during I think
11.
It was during 11, and Duo was on the same team with Ash as well. And if Ash, was now on a team with Elizabeth and Kukri, it could make sense, because think about it. Oswald could lead it. Shen always is like the second, I feel like. And then you have like Duo, who doesn't really mind being like the runner-up assassin and like being involved from the background, but he has that tie to characters like Ash and Elizabeth, and I mean all three of them do. So I think Oswald would be a good choice, but that's just what I was thinking.
No, I definitely agree with that. Yeah, I agree, Oswald. Him and Shen actually had... It's actually kind of cool. Ash screwed them both over. Like, I kind of, like, hinted at this earlier, but he screwed over his own teammates at the end of 11 because he left them to have a battle to the death, which I can imagine Shen killed Oswald, because Shen came back in 13, Oswald didn't. So, I guess he killed him, because Oswald was dying from a sickness that couldn't be cured. He needed, I believe it was called the Phoenix Pill. He needed the Phoenix Pill in 11. And the guy who was going to give it to him ended up putting a hit on Shen. So he needed Shen to die before he was going to give him that pill. So that was another reason why Oswald kind of came out of nowhere and joined the team in 11. Not only just to help Ash, because he actually did believe in Ash's whole plan and everything, but it was also to kill Shen. So what Ash did, Ash actually, he literally, it's such a dickheaded move. I sit here and laugh about it when I think about it, but he really ended up blowing Oswald's cover completely. He told Shen about the whole entire hit being called on him, but then that's what sparked their whole entire fight at the end of the game. And then, so, you know, while they sat there and fought each other, he kind of just snuck off and went and took Iori's sacred treasure. So yeah, that's pretty messed up. So I can imagine, you know, only just because of the evidence that we had at the time, Oswald got killed by Shen. Only because he didn't make a return. And then he ended up returning as DLC. So yeah, I think Oswald does have really good chances of coming back into the main story now, because he definitely was dead when it came to King of Fighters 14 and 13. So yeah, it definitely would make sense for him to come back now that everybody's coming back. You know, I mean, you got multiple characters being revived, so there's no reason why he can't be revived. So yeah, I feel like that team definitely would be back, and then they don't remember who Ash is, so I don't know what their story would be if they even had one, you know, if they were going to go as far as to give them a story or give them like some type of, you know, like motivation. But yeah, shit. I mean, now Oswald actually has a second light now, and from what I gather too, when it comes to the KOF fanbase, is that they really love Oswald. Like, when he made his second appearance in 14, they really loved him. He was definitely like one of the favorite DLC characters, along with obviously like Vanessa, Blue Mary, Naj, and, you know, everybody else. But he was definitely like everybody's favorite. Like, everybody talked about him mostly out of the DLCs. As far as it goes for the second team, I don't know. I guess I'm gonna need some time to think about that. But before I pass it over to MixUp real quick and let him talk about his DLC teams, while I think about my last one, let me check out the chat here. Yo, what's up, Majin? No, he didn't take his sacred treasure like that. We ain't talking about that damn sacred treasure. Well, I mean, he was kind of flamboyant with it. I mean, he reached into the chest and whatnot. I don't know. He's fishing around in there. But, well, I mean, I wouldn't put it past Ash. I mean, he do like to sneak up from behind people. So, I mean, you know, like, Iori probably... Iori wanted to kill him after King of Fighters 11. He really wanted to kill his ass. So, I mean, you know, maybe he, you know, he got hit from behind. So you say he got penetrated? Yes, he did. He got penetrated, and he was, you know, for all intents and purposes, he got really butthurt. You know, physically and mentally. But yeah. Yeah, how you doing, Majin? You doing good, bro? We're just gonna be chilling here. I'm not gonna be playing anything, just to let you know. Not gonna be playing nothing. Just gonna be talking about KOF, and then that's gonna be it. And then tomorrow I'll get into actually playing some stuff on stream. But yeah, the stream ain't gonna be too terribly long, so we're just gonna be here vibing, hanging out. I got the KOF 94 endings all the way up till 2000 playing right now for you guys, so you can watch that while we talk about KOF. And yeah, so that's gonna be the whole thing. But yeah, MixUp, go ahead if you have your DLC teams ready.
Oh my god, I was literally thinking about it the whole time we were talking, and you made a lot of good points with who we thought was gonna be on a team with each other, how they would connect, how like interactive they would be if they had a story and whatnot. There's a couple of teams, and I feel like you'd be like, ooh, yeah, I feel like you would agree with some of them. To start off with one, and it's an interesting one, considering that by the end of 14, Iori kind of like ditched the ghosts of Mature and Vice, even though they kind of show up unexpectedly, and they're like, yeah, like let's partner, let's enter the team, like the tournament together. But in all actuality, it's just you. And
Yeah.
I honestly think what would be interesting for a team is if their master Go and Eats, not Rugal. Rugal kind of brainwashed them and kind of convinced them to kind of be a part of like their team at one point and to kind of be like henchmen from 90, what was it, 96, I believe.
You have perfect narration right now, considering 96 is going on, and then it shows Gonitz and Mature and Vice.
Oh my god, you see? It's like they're already telling me I might be on something. No, but I honestly think it would be interesting if Go and Eats and Mature and Vice were on a team, because I've talked about that. I was like, they got killed off so abruptly by Iori, and it didn't stop them from coming back, clearly. I mean, they still support the same man that killed them anyways. Yeah, but it's still one of those things where it would be cool to see. But I have another team that's very interesting that you might have forgotten about. So back in 2000, or at least 2003, from around that era, like, they had, when Kyo was kind of doing his own thing between the Nest Saga and the Ash Saga, Benimaru was taking charge of the team on his own, but since he's no longer the leader of the so-called Benimaru team, I think it would be the perfect idea to bring characters back on the forefront who are connected with said characters, like Shingo, and who are part of like the Benimaru team. So Shingo, Seth, hell, you can even bring back Daimon. That would be the perfect team, and especially since Blueberry and Vanessa also do detective work and they work side to side with Seth, it would make sense since he was referenced in King of Fighters 13 during the investigation of the whole Ash thing and everything. And you know, it would have been so cool if that was a team as well. But what would be interesting, who would lead the team, it would probably be like Shingo. I think it would be a very interesting twist on, you know, the classic Benimaru team when, you know, Kyo was not there to kind of be the leader of that team. But like, since Benimaru was kind of assisting, you know, the new team, the hero team, and then you got Kyo on the Sacred Treasures basically handling his own business. Diamond being put on the side, well, is like, it almost seems like it makes sense because he's never really had a significant role like you talked about. But I think what would put a character like that, and even though he's not really super, like, I wouldn't assume he's like a popular character, like people know him, but like I don't think anyone would really like, oh yeah, crazy about him, you know. But it would be cool to see him on a team return with the same set characters that were on, you know, that team. So like Shingo and Seth, it would be pretty cool. And just basically it would follow kind of like, it would be referencing, you know, 2000 and maybe up to 2003. So I feel like it would be a very interesting thing. The other team though that came to mind, and there was a couple of them, I'm stumped on one character in particular. Well, it's definitely Kim for starters, because he's not in the game. And,
yeah, definitely.
And I honestly thought it would be interesting if it was like him, Kenso, and I know it'd be weird, but like those two almost fight very similarly, and then King. It's a good mix on like two series, King of Fighters and, you know, what King of Fighters? I mean, Fatal Fury and what's the other one? Psycho Soldier. So it's like, I feel like it would be
yeah, Psycho Soldier.
But I felt like there was I did have them in the back of my mind. It was probably a better mix, but like I think it would be, if if I was gonna go with my first two choices, it would probably be, you know, Go and Eats and Mature and Vice, and then second team I would think would probably be like, if not the Benimaru team, I think they would call it like not the Shingo team. That sounds weird. It sounds like something you get like if you have a skin problem. The Shingo team.
The Shingo team. God damn it, I got some Shingo.
No, but I honestly think those would be like my two candidates for like a team if I were to guess if that was going to be a team. But also I do agree with the whole maybe like Duolon and Shen, and I did say Oswald because I was thinking that as you were saying those characters' names, and I was like, I know Oswald might be dead, but remember when fighters die, like, or when they died and, you know, their souls were trapped in verse, they didn't specify exactly who. Like,
exactly,
they said basically Ash was in there. That was first confirmation. They even confirmed Orochi. So with Orochi, that means obviously the Orochi teams, hence why they're back. But they did not specify exactly who else was in that void and whose soul was kind of lingering within verse, or if there's multiple fighters trapped in different entities, considering that, you know, Isla, now her power becomes like its own, you know, puppet master in a way, and it evolves. So it's just, it could go anyway, really, but the guesses definitely, it's like, they were right when they said, quote unquote, shatter all expectations. I mean, no shit.
Yeah, no doubt. Like, they were definitely right about that one.
Like, we could guess, and we could be right about some of it. And for all we know, we probably are, like, tying in the teams the way that they did, but who knows, some teams were a bit weird. Like, the women fighters team, they've mixed up over the years, and it's always kind of had, like, a very fine mix between, like, My King and Yuri, and then, like, My King, and then they've had Kasumi Toto, and, like, I mean,
like the ones that have always returned within the woman fighters team, like that have been like the most relevant. I mean, obviously it's My King and Yuri, but like the other person who has like been in there more than anyone would probably be Mary. Mary's had like more appearances than like any other female in that team. So yeah. But yeah, it has seen a lot of variations though.
A lot. Yeah. Definitely. Like, so many people have actually, well, so many characters have actually joined that fray. And there's a huge list of actually women that's been part of that team. Not too big, but a fair amount. And I guess it's because if they can't make one cut into one team, if they've been ejected by, you know, their male counterparts or whatnot, it's kind of like one of those things where it's like, you got an open spot? Yeah, sure. Yeah, jump in.
Pretty much. You know, I was just thinking of my second team, actually. I think I would like... I would probably dub this one the Disciples team. This is just one... I mean, obviously, I don't think it's going to make it at all, but, I mean, hell, I'll be the first one to state it. So, if this does make it in, remember, I'm the one who started it. So, nobody can call no bullshit. SpeedKing was the one who first fucking called this shit, but yeah, the Disciples team I think would be so sick, and it would be Hinako, Mei Lee, and let's see, it would be the last one. Hinako, Mei Lee, and I don't know how old they are since they never talk about Kim's children, but I can imagine by now Kim's children have got to be like, damn, they gotta be over 16. They gotta be over 16 by now. There's no way that Kim's kids, unless they just go through that stupid shit where they don't want to age up the kids, but I'm pretty sure his kids are over the age of 16, so they definitely would be able to handle themselves, and you know how strong fucking Kim is. But, yeah, I would say one of Kim's children... and they also have appeared in Garo as well. I mean, I know Garo's like way into the future and all that, but still, Like where Garo stands and where KOF is now, I think his kids would literally be the right age now. But yeah, so one of Kim's kids, I don't know which one. I don't know which one to pick. So either one of Kim's kids, Mei Lee and Hinako.
That would be okay. So you just gave me another idea. So, oh my God! See, there's so many options. So I'm still gonna stick with the Shingo team. Goenitz and Mature and Vice would be a cool idea because I mean, Mature and Vice seem like they can come back any given time, like if they wanted to. But like I said, they didn't specify who was in verse or if there's any more dead fighter souls that are still lingering in those entities. But I definitely will keep the Shingo team, so that would be consisting of, you know, Shingo, Death, and Diamond. But the second team, especially since you brought up those fighters, it would probably be Kim and both of his kids. And hear me out with this, because
yeah, that could be.
Yeah, because if the Kim team isn't happening now, maybe they're holding off because if they already added Garo characters, especially the ones that were strong and popular, it makes sense why they held off on Kim then. Because then, I mean, how else would you get excited other than having almost, well, 2 generations, you know, of kick-ass Cap ones? They're awesome. Well, Kim's not Cap ones because that's his name, but it's crazy to think
makes
about.
Sense either way.
Yeah, it makes sense. Like Team Kim. Oh yeah, Team Kim. All right. There's 3 Kims up in that team.
3 of them.
But that's what I'm saying. Like it would probably be so cool. It's a simple idea, and it seems like it would be like copy and pasting. But I feel like each character would have their own unique trait because it's not like a character is gonna full on mirror. Like the sons are gonna mirror what, you know, the father does, and if they do, it would kind of just be lazy if they did that. I feel like every character has their own flair in some way, so I think it'd be interesting if they did make a Kim team where it was just him and his sons, and if it's taking place like, or you know, I don't think Garo actually plays a role in it, but if they are old enough, just like how Rock's old enough now in the King of Fighters, you know, section of the game now where we're at, it would make sense to add Kim and his 2 sons because they were playable characters in Garo. So I definitely think you were onto something right there. And then it made me think, I was like, wait a minute, that's probably why Kim's not in the game. They could just add him and his sons.
Right.
But yeah, I honestly think those we have a lot of good, interesting ideas. They can bring back Shen, maybe Oswald Dualon, maybe Ignis Mature Advice, maybe Tim and Shingo, whether it's them, Seth, and Daimon, or, like I said now, Kim and his kids. You have like 4 good teams right there.
Oh man, I thought I was gonna sneeze. Wait. Whew, there it is. Sorry about that, yo. Whew, thank you. So before we wrap up the whole DLC conversation, right? Is there any characters, like, you know, without having to go into lore or anything like that, right? Is there any DLC characters that you would just want, like, purely because you just like the character?
Just realized something. I called Team Nest or Team Cronin Team Nest, but I cannot forget to talk about the one newcomer that kind of bugs me since he's kind of enigmatic. Cronin McDougall. Like, what is his deal? He's over here kidnapping Kula, trying to almost look like restart Nest or get the agents from that kind of worked back into that organization through his, you know, perspective, but it almost seems like he doesn't have a handle on it yet, and he tries to prove himself more towards Kyo, since, you know, Kyo's the reason why the K project even existed. So,
right.
I don't know. I think I'm more excited since, you know, Kyo clones aren't really a bad thing, and I've been, you know, if anybody does watch my videos and keeps track of the characters I play. Like, I always play characters that have almost like a dark side. So if you get the gist, almost like Ryu and Evil Ryu, Jin, Devil Jin, Cammy the Capri.
Evil counterparts.
Yeah, evil counterparts. Like,
mm-hmm.
And I think I'm more interested with Cronin because I don't know, I love enigmatic characters or characters that seem like they have the potential, but they're ambiguously not tapped in yet. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. Sometimes ambiguous characters can be really strong, depending on how you use them. And I don't know, I feel like lore-wise, he's very interesting. Like, despite very little that we know. Like, I guess some people would obviously like other newcomers like Isla or Dolores, and they're definitely good characters by design. And I feel like their personalities will probably shine through the game. But it's Cronin's that I'm most intrigued by. Me personally.
Yeah, Cronin seems like he's going to be mostly... It seems like he's going to be going to Kyo for answers anyway. That seems like his whole thing, from what I could gather from the trailers anyway, is that it seems like he just kind of... Obviously, because he's a Kyo clone, I'm pretty sure he can feel it, like, in his genes. He can feel it that, like, he comes from Kyo. He just doesn't know how to handle it. So, obviously, when he meets Kyo, you know what I mean? He has that whole, just that whole, like... That whole, like, rage-inducing thing. It's like he gets so pissed off when he sees Kyo. And he doesn't know why, either. I mean, obviously, Kyo doesn't know because he's never met him before. Like, this is the first time that they've ever met each other, but he knows of Kyo. Like, he's seen, like, the other clones and shit, and obviously he hates K-Dash because he looks at K-Dash as a failure clone. He looks at himself as, like, the superior clone and everything, so... He definitely wants to pick a fight with, well, obviously with both of them, but the one that he wants to, like, kill, though, is definitely K-Dash. And then, as it goes for Kyo, I think he just wants answers from Kyo, but obviously Kyo's not going to be able to give him any answers, because he doesn't know shit about the project. He's kind of barking up the wrong tree on that one. Instead, he's just going to get a fight from Kyo. Yeah, but it seems like, he does have a good story, though, because, I mean, it is pretty much... After all these years of him being gone, I also want to figure out exactly what the hell he's been doing this whole time, because we all know the whole entire, you know, thing, the whole reason why he wasn't in KOF for the longest time, and why he got replaced by characters like Nameless and all of that, was because of the whole, SNK didn't want any trouble with the movie Akira, because it looks just like, what's that character, Tetsuo? Yeah, it looks just like Tetsuo. I mean, it literally is Tetsuo, but that was the whole reasoning of why they left him out of the KOF series for so long. But it seems like he's just trying to figure out who the hell he is, because he's just been... Obviously, you can tell by his clothes and everything. His gauntlet, like, unlike Kula and K-Dash's gauntlet, that theirs is all, like, clean and everything. You can see, like, they kept it up to maintenance and everything, because that's where all their power comes from, is from the gloves. So you can tell that they have been either modifying, upgrading their gloves and everything else. And you can, if you take a close look at Cronin's is like mattered. Like, you can see, like, it's like few pieces are broken on it. There's dust and like dirt and everything just all trapped in it. You can see, like, it's definitely not been handled properly. So you can tell this guy has just been, like, wandering around. You can tell by his clothes, too. He's just been wandering and doesn't know where the hell he's going. And then finally he happened to stumble upon the King of Fighters 15 tournament. So now he's, like, I'm pretty sure you can feel it, like, in his own body. Like, he's connected to K-Dash and connected to Kyo. So now that he, you know, he gets this feeling and he knows that those two have at least something to do with it, that he doesn't know anything pretty much about his own existence. He's just kind of lashing out at them to try to figure out where the hell he fits in the world. And it's kind of messed up too, because those two can't give him that answer. I think maybe K-Dash can maybe elaborate on some things. I think K-Dash might know more about what's going on with him. But I know that Kyo doesn't know a damn thing, so he's barking up the wrong tree by going to Kyo. But yeah, Cronin does have a very interesting story, that's for sure. Hopefully there's going to be somebody in the story, who knows, maybe Antonov or somebody that has been a previous King of Fighters, or shit, maybe he could go up to Hyder. And I mean, there's a lot of people that he can go to for information, for sure, about his existence, because there's more than just K-Dash and Kyo in the story to fill in the blanks for him. I mean, Hydern did a lot of like reconnaissance and did a lot of like investigation on the Nest saga, and Antonov, I mean, he's just a KOF tournament host, so I don't know. I'm just kind of swinging at the fences with that one. I mean, I can imagine that to be a KOF tournament host, you would need to have some prior knowledge of the tournaments or something like that. So, you know, maybe he has some like secret files or something, you know. Antonov could probably shed some light on that. I wouldn't put it past him.
I mean, despite the fact that he's very lighthearted as a character, and he doesn't seem like he cowered when he saw a verse. So, like, even though he is probably confident in his fighting ability, supernaturally, though, I feel like he's more, like, of a brute than he is more with, like, you know, how everybody else kind of has, like, some type of kinetic power in them that taps in because of their, like, energy or something like that. Antonov might know some things, which I have a feeling, like, he might be right about that, but who knows, maybe that whole conversation with Kyo and everything happened beforehand, now that I think about it, because the times when he goes to ask, like, Kyo, or, like, the times when they've shown those videos, I don't think he was really with Kula or Angel at the moment, or at all, and he kind of seems like that lone wolf kind of character where, like, he'll stand on his own, but, like, when it comes down to it, he'll trust what's familiar to him. So maybe kidnapping Kula was his way of desperation to get back at, like, a character like K, because he obviously despises him. But at the same time, like, you know, recruiting Angel, it's like, wait a minute, I could use this team as a benefit, maybe get close to the other fighters, so when I see Kyo, I can battle him and then ask what he knows, and because it almost seems like his arc, just like, you know, any character that's been, you know, clone of the main character, like K even had a moment like that where he almost clashed with, you know, Kyo, or he did, but it kind of just like ended in a draw where it was like, yeah, like I am better purpose than this, you're nothing to sweat, I exist on my own now, like, yay. But Cronin, it almost seems like he's not willing to let a grudge go. And
Definitely.
I don't know, it's just, who knows, maybe his development, maybe we might even, it might be like a separate rival between the K's now, where it's like, you got K and then you got Cronin. And I feel like, the way I see it...
KKK.
Like, oh, God, no.
Kyo K Cronin. Great. Now I got some content for YouTube. I'm gonna put I'm gonna put together the KKK team.
No.
Be playing online with fucking K-Dash, Cronin, and Kyo. Let me see what we got going on in chat here. Hold on. Thoughts on my Never Gonna Happen team? Funny thing is, K might have a few answers considering one of his endings. Yeah, I mean, and also the fact that he's tied in. I mean, just like me and Mixup were talking about just a minute ago. He is one of Kyo's clones, so, and he also defected from Nests, just like Kula did back then. So they both defected from there, and then they were involved a lot with the whole saga afterwards, you know what I mean? They were trying to, like, bring down Nests, is what they were doing, and trying to figure out their own existences, so, yeah, if anybody would be knowledgeable on that, it would definitely be K-Dash, for sure. Kim team would be sick though, but with Kim, one of his sons and his students from Maximum Impact, I liked her. Oh, what the hell is her name from Maximum Impact? Yeah, Che Lim. Yeah, Che Lim. Yeah, she'd be pretty dope. My team was Sensei Team, Takuma, Cheng, and Tung Furu. Oh, okay.
I just remember something before you continue reading the comments.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, and you said it in the video, and you said it yesterday. And this was the team that slipped from me. The All-American Sports team, you know, with Heavy D and
Lucky and yeah, and Brian.
Yeah, that would also be a really cool, like, you know, way to bring back the old like nostalgic team factor. That would be so fucking dope.
Out of all the characters that I want, yeah, that team would be the main one that I would want for sure. Like if I had to pick a team, definitely them, because it's literally just unfair. Like they should have made a return at some point in KOF. I mean, they technically did, but I'm just talking about like canon games. They should have made a return at some point. They did in '98. I mean, that's where they got all of their popularity was '98. But yeah, I loved playing all three of them. They're so cool.
Another thing that they could have did to throw us for a loop for a team, they could have just made a team out of Maximum Impact characters as well. Since Maximum Impact as a game, I feel like is heavily slept on. Yeah.
That would be amazing if they did that. That'd be completely out of left field. They made a Maximum Impact team. That would be so sick.
Like you could get Leanne, a Mignon or something, and then who else? Or it could go this way. It could be the two brothers who are the main characters. I forget their names, but
oh, Nagase would be so dope. She's another ninja I really liked. But yeah, Sori and Alba you were talking about, yeah.
Yeah, Sori, Alba, and then you could have Leanne on the team or something like that.
Sori, Alba, Leanne, yeah.
Be a pretty good team.
I'm not also going to go past this either, because I feel like this is probably lingering in the back of everybody's minds right now, so I'm just going to bring this out into the forefront. But do I think that they will add any KOF 14 characters? It's possible. I mean, this is KOF we're talking about, and obviously with KOF, anything is possible, to be perfectly fair. I mean, shit, there was, if you asked me way back in 2016 when KOF 14 came out, if you asked me if Oswald was going to be in the game, I would have just told you no. Like, I did not think Oswald even had a place in the damn game. I really didn't. I was thinking, like, yeah, like, nobody would want Oswald back. It's whatever. Like, yeah, he ain't gonna show up. But 14, it's possible for the 14 characters to show up. I know that they're not everybody's favorites. That's for sure. But I don't think it's impossible. And, I guess the other question would be, do I want them in there? No, to be honest. Not because I don't like them. I mean, I even took a shot at Nelson during my my top 10 video, and I also took a shot at what's his name, Bernardes. So I took a shot at both of them during my video. But besides that, they do have good characters in there. Like Zarina was really fun too. Alice was kind of annoying, I'm not gonna lie. I did like her, you know, I mean, I like her. I like her character and her design and everything. Yeah, but her moveset was super annoying. If anybody played her, it's super fucking annoying. You know my pain, because if you whiff a move, you die. So, yeah. Making a character where if you whiff a move, you get punished, I don't like that. Because, you know, like, KOF is a very fast-paced game. There's a lot of jumping, a lot of rolling, a lot of, you know, just being active. There's a lot of active things in KOF. So having a character where if they whiff, where there's, like, a good there's like a good 80% chance you're going to whiff during a match in King of Fighters. Yeah, that's not, like, that doesn't make for a good character. That's just a pain in the ass to deal with. Hey, please no Sylvie. Yes, Sylvie. Sylvie was good. I know that you and Damasta, Majin, I know that both of you have nightmares of getting killed by Sylvie. Because Sylvie had a lot of good zoning tools and shit, and she was fun. She's a weird fucking character, but super fun to play with.
Apparently, this woman was part of Nest. I'm like, wait a minute. You're part of the official invitation team, and you were working for Nest? I'm like, how? We didn't even see you.
Yep, she definitely wasn't in the front of it, for sure, but, let's see, so, Alice is definitely a wasted slot. I wouldn't put her as a wasted slot. I just didn't like her, her general game plan. Her game plan was to be super patient, not really be mobile, and to not, miss any moves. But yeah, I did like her otherwise. I mean, if they were to bring her back, if they were to bring back Alice, and then they fixed that moveset, if they made it to where, like, she wouldn't stumble when she whiffs, she'd be a good-ass character, and she'd be really fun to play. But that was just the annoying part, is that she does that little, like, tripping animation every time that she misses a move. So, you know, obviously that's not really fun for anybody that's playing Alice to deal with. It makes it too easy for you to get punished. You just have to, like, roll out the way or you know, whatever, then she just misses. So, that's what sucks. I'd rather have anyone else. Yeah, you guys be hating on Sylvie.
There's one.
Yeah, go ahead.
I want to mention. One, because I use this character a lot in 14 when I do play, and she's, you know, a character that made it in due to basically a design contest or something. But and you know who I'm talking about.
Naj.
I'm talking about Naj. I don't know what it is about this Arabian character who is like a darkness-esque kind of assassin by night, but then a college student by day. I'm like, I don't know. She's very cool. She's quick when you know how to use her, and her tools are fucking amazing. I honestly think she's probably my favorite character, hands down, in this new era. But I also think, like, just point blank right now at the moment, because like I've said before, I've never really had, like, a favorite character in KOF, because they all have their own feats, and they're all uniquely stand on their own, and some ways good, some ways bad. But Naj, she actually was like a character whose playstyle actually really fit me, and I adapted to it very quickly. I learned how to cancel, and I learned how to basically was able to utilize the moves the effective and appropriate way on how to use the character. Like, because of a character like her, I was able to learn KOF a little better. Like, I'm a little more confident in how I play because of that character, so I cannot bring up characters and forget to bring her up, because I feel like I had to, like, but she is definitely a phenomenal character. Maybe not everyone, like, maybe she's a character some people are divided on. I feel like she's kind of a 50-50, where it's like, oh, she's cool by design, but, like, she probably doesn't do it for me. But for me personally, I will say that's a character, if you were asking everyone, I want her back.
True. Who was I gonna say? There's a character I was just going to mention. Oh, right. No, not characters I was going to mention. Because I happen to see this in the background, I remember they threw me for a loop when the Akari trailer came out. Well, pretty much when Ralph and Clark's trailer came out, because they shared both Ralph and Clark's trailers together. So, like, they combined them into one, and it was like a 2-minute trailer. But, yeah, when Clark and Ralph's trailer came out, they only showed the stage. They didn't show the characters yet. So before they showed the characters, they were like zooming in on the stage and the elements in the background, and you can see it was all Metal Slug. But I would love a Metal Slug team where it'd be like Marco, Fio, and Airy. I would love a Metal Slug team. Like, just... There's only been, like, one Metal Slug character that has been playable in a KOF game anyway. I mean, it was a side game. But there's only been one character, which was Fio. Fio was playable in Maximum Impact 2. And I swear to God, it was so much fun. Like, when I did that huge combo video, where I did a combo with every single character in the mainline KOF games, I included Maximum Impact in there because it was just too much fun doing Fio combos. Like, it was so cool, just like throwing Molotovs, placing down grenades, and she had like the machine gun, she had the pistol, she had the rocket launcher. She literally had every single like equipable weapon from Metal Slug, and it was so sick. And then she had this like running command grab, like she would just run at you and then go through you, and when she went through you, she'd like place a bomb on you, then it would explode. Like, it was just so sick. I would definitely love that.
Another character you brought up in the video, Foxy. I never played her, but I know you're a fan of Foxy.
Love that character. Good lord. Love that character. She is undoubtedly, like, you cannot change my mind on this. Even when I play King of Fighters 15, like, when I go through everybody eventually, I'm still not going to have my mind changed. Like, they would have to be just as crazy or maybe even crazier character than her. But she is the best. I'm not kidding you. After all my years of playing King of Fighters, she is the best anchor character in King of Fighters history. I will stand by that for, like, the longest time. Like, you cannot change my mind on that. There's nobody that even comes close. It's no fucking debate. She is the best anchor character because of her damn... Oh my god. She was undoubtedly the best character in King of Fighters 2001 and in 2002 Unlimited match. 2002 Unlimited match and 2001. She was literally the best character. Like, she was so top tier. Like, everybody else was like S tier or something, like at the highest, right? She's just double S plus. Like, she was downright broken. Like, if we're not including the boss characters, because, you know, there's like Ignis with like his infinites, and then there's Geese with his mad damage and all of that. If we're not including the boss characters that got put in the ultimate match, if we're just talking about base roster, she is overpowered. Like, her dart, if you get hit by the dart, you immediately get stunned, and she gets to do whatever she wants afterwards. She gets to hit you with a super, go into another setup, she can do whatever. And she can hit you with the dart even when you're in midair, and you still get stunned in midair. Like, the dart thing was crazy. She has the high and low counters, which you can counter into super, which is nuts. She has that suicide super. If you get her down to like 20% health, you can see, like, once the health bar starts flashing, she'll run in towards you, latch onto you, and then she'll explode. She won't kill herself, but she'll completely take out your character, though. I've done that way too many times to people online, where it's like Foxy's the only character left, and then they only have one character on their team, and I just did the suicide super and just blew them up. But yeah, she's way too much fun, and all that range that she has like a, oh my god, her overhead is so fast. It's like a, I can't remember exactly, it's like a 3 to 4 frame overhead. Like, her overhead is quick as hell, it's safe, and like on top of that, she's the only KOF character that uses a weapon in a fight. Well, I mean, like, other than whip, but like an actual like weapon, like she's a frickin' rapier. Like, she'd literally stab you with a damn sword. It's pretty crazy. I definitely love that character for sure. It would have to be, I think, when it comes down to it, right, just for my final characters, I think, like, just by my picks, I think the two characters I would want, like if SNK were to just be like, speaking, what characters do you want for KOF, right? It would literally be Foxy and Hinako would be my my personal request. They were just so much fun to play, like really. They're probably like the most fun KOF characters to play. I really like Vanessa and everything too, but I don't know, there's just something different about Foxy. Let's see. Let's see what Majin said here. Some AOF characters would be cool though. KOFXV only good game in the series. AOF 3? Nah, I can't agree with that one. I like Art of Fighting 3, but I don't think I would want any of the characters to be in KOF. I think the Art of Fighting characters that we already have are good enough. I wouldn't want any more. You wanted Chang, right? No. I don't want, like... okay, so you know what's funny, right? I want characters from Garo. And I know Garo is part of Fatal Fury. I don't want any Fatal Fury characters. Not because I don't like them. I don't know. I just don't... I would rather have, like, a new Fatal Fury game. I guess just, like... Yeah, like, I would put it that way. I would just want a new Fatal Fury. Like, if they were gonna put them in KOF, I'd be like, nah, that's a waste. Like, don't put them in KOF. Just make a new fucking Garo, or just make a new Fatal Fury. But the characters from Garo, like, yeah, I pretty much want every character from Garo to be in KOF. But, yeah. Art of Fighting and Fatal Fury, no. I don't want any characters from either one of those series anymore. Like, I think what we have is just fine. We got, like, a good, decent amount. I know you want Chang, because Chang's, like, your favorite character, but... For me, I would have to say that's where me being picky in the King of Fighters roster would be. Because usually I'm not picky about characters. I really don't care. Like, if some characters happen to not make it, like, for instance, I really want Foxy, I really want Hinako... That's not going to stop me from playing King of Fighters 15. I'm still going to love it regardless, you know what I mean? I'm still going to play it every day, and I'm still going to love it, like, as same as I do right now. Like, I'm going to love the game the exact same amount. It's not going to go away. But yeah, those characters I could definitely do without. If they happen to make it in there, I mean, so be it. You know what I mean? I ain't going to be mad neither. I really don't care. Like, KOF is the one game where I'm not really that too picky when it comes to character selection. I pretty much just roll with the punches. Because I don't have a main team, so I play every single character anyway. I guess that's why I'm not really too picky on that. I've never settled down with a main team before. I honestly switch it up. Like, even the tournaments I've entered for King of Fighters, I've always switched up my teams. I've never just stuck with one concrete team and then ran through the whole entire tournament with just that. I always be switching up on the fly. I see what my opponent be picking, and I just be picking whatever I think is good enough to combat that, you know what I mean? And it's not even like I'm, like, doing, like, a counter pick either. It's, like, literally just what I think. Just be like, I wonder what character would be doing good against this one. Like, really, any character is good in King of Fighters. I've already said this before. I know you guys have already heard me say, you know, when it comes to character versatility, you know, versus the whole cast. Matchups-wise, yeah, when it comes to matchup-wise, there pretty much is no, like, bad matchup in King of Fighters, to be perfectly honest. There's characters that do incredibly good and everything, but it's still not out of the realm of possibility. It's not like, you know, you could be, like, a pro player at KOF, and then just because you pick this one character, it means they're going to dominate the rest of the cast. Like, no, it's still very possible for the other character to get fucked up royally. So... it's just the way KOF structure is, you know what I mean? It's not like other games. It's not like Street Fighter or nothing like that, where one character can just dominate the whole cast because they just have so many options that the whole cast can't deal with it. Like KOF, like, characters have multiple ways of dealing with things. Like, just because I mean, even if you watch my top 10 video, I also make a nod to this as well. I was saying that, like, a lot of people thought that Hinako was really garbage because of her lack of range, and you know, she does like the sumo style. Just because you have a zoner character like I don't know, like King, or if you have like Mai, you start throwing fans and stuff, doesn't mean that you're gonna keep Hinako off of you. You can keep her off for that moment, but then the next moment she's gonna be right up in your face. So, you know, and that's just because of KOF's mechanics. You know, the rolling, what's the other mechanic I'm trying to think of here? The max mode canceling, and just also on top of that, all the characters' unique move sets all negate, like, they're really good at like negating different playstyles. You know what I mean? Like if somebody wants to be just solely a zoner, you can negate somebody from just zoning you the whole entire match. Like you don't have to deal with anything in KOF. So that's where I stand on those characters anyway. I don't want them in there. I mean, if they happen to be in there, so be it. And it ain't gonna make a difference. I'm still gonna play KOF regardless. I agree with you on that one, Jeff. Yeah, you see what I'm saying, Predator. I honestly only want Chang from Fatal Fury. But yes, if you love new Fatal Fury, please SNK. Excuse me. It's not like Phoenix, Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Oh my god. Yeah, Phoenix. Fucking Marvel 3. I wasn't really into Marvel 3 like everybody else. I like the characters in Marvel 3. I love to play me some Tron Bond and all of that, but yeah, the game's too busted. I'm definitely not like everybody else on that one. My favorite Marvel vs. Capcom games is... I know a lot of people might murder me for this one, so, you know, I had to put it out there, but Marvel Infinite is a good game. Shit roster. Very, very shit roster, but the gameplay, good. Gameplay is amazing. And, Marvel vs. Capcom 1. So yeah, Marvel vs. Capcom 1, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. Those are my two. Marvel vs. Capcom 2 and 3, I know a lot of people love those, think that they're the best in the series and all of that. I will still play them. I still love those games too, but too broken. Way too broken.
I can definitely agree with and attest to that.
Yeah, exactly. Like, if we're talking about busted video games here, like, I don't think that there's any other fighting game that can contest those two. Marvel 2 and 3. Marvel 2 and 3 just... they're in their own league of busted. But yeah, that's all we got for the DLC characters. Anything else you wanted to add for the DLC characters, MixUp?
Any other characters?
Any other characters or anything else you wanted to add to that? No?
No, I think from my, like, you know, standpoint, I think I covered everything.
True. Good game, not my cup of tea. Infinite, I mean. Marvel 2 and Vanilla 3 are disgusting. Man, it's not even just Vanilla 3. Frickin' every version of Marvel vs. Marvel vs. I can't speak. Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Yes, Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Every version of it is busted. It's because that stupid X Factor shit. That X Factor is messed up because it does way too much damage. You literally can take out a whole entire team just with one character. Like, that's fucked up. Like, you can't even do that shit in Dragon Ball FighterZ. In Dragon Ball FighterZ, if you happen to catch the whole team in a happy birthday, fucking, you can kill maybe like 2 members. Maybe. If you have enough resources. If you got fucking, what, if you got like 3 bars a meter and you got level 3 sparking and shit. Yeah. It's possible, but that's mostly never going to happen. Where, like, you know, Marvel 3, no matter what version you're playing, like, there is setups to kill a whole entire team that literally can't be stopped at all, which is stupid. So yeah, Marvel 3 is busted no matter what version you're playing. They never fixed it. It's just remained straight garbage. I don't know what type of updates they did to it, but it just felt like the same damn game, because you just get caught in a combo, then you see your character's health just melting and melting and melting, and then if they catch your whole team in it, which is so easy in that game, you're just gonna see the whole entire match just flash before your eyes. But yeah, besides that anyway, you know, we're gonna be talking about KOF, right? We're gonna be talking too much about Marvel. Let's see, we talked about the story, we talked about the DLC characters. I guess the next thing would be, I know there's a lot of characters. Damn, we got, what, 39? We got 39. I don't know if you can unlock the boss character for 40. I do remember SNK mentioning something about 40 characters, so hopefully
it might be possible. I'm actually looking at the roster right now, and I think you're right about that. So it seems like from the lineup, going across the first row, it goes. This is a spoiler too, if anybody knows like the roster and everything. It looks like there's, so on the top, in the very top row, it's all KOF signs, so those are the DLC slots. There's 12 obviously up there, but there's one last slot, and it's right above the rival team, and the rival team is on the far right of the roster.
Right.
So from left to right, you have Hero Team, Team Ash, Orochi, K-Team, Rival Team, and then on the second row below it, Fatal Fury, Art of Fighting, Orochi, Super Heroine, Akari, and then you have the Gaw Wrestling Team, Team Cronin, and then you have the Secret Agents Team, 3 teams on the bottom, below the middle section of the roster. So basically, everybody who's DLC will be on top, but then there's one slot above Hyderin, and I think that's where the final boss may be unlocked.
Yeah, so that's definitely got to be the final boss slot.
Yeah.
What if Rugal was unlocked? Just speculating. I mean, that would be kind of cool if it was Rugal, but nah, I don't think so. It's definitely got to be Reverse. Is probably going to be the DLC character. I don't know if it's going to be that version afterwards. Like there's 2 different versions of the boss. You weren't here when I was explaining this earlier, Majin, but I've already seen the boss, and this is more spoilers, but there's Reverse, and then there's a boss after that. But when I seen it on somebody's YouTube channel, when I seen it on this random YouTube channel, they didn't show what happens after you fight Reverse. They just showed the boss, and that was it. So I don't know what's going to happen. If it just ends there, it could just end right there, or whatnot.
There could be a final transformation, like
yeah,
some game will do that.
Yeah, they could be a final transformation, or it probably just ends there. I don't know, but anyway, yeah, with that though, yeah, I was gonna say, so with all the characters that we got, right, 40 characters, I guess you can say, because you can unlock the other one. With the 40 characters that we got, right, what 3 characters do you think that you're going to play when you get the game? Like the first 3 that you start out with, like, who are you going to take into training mode, or arcade, or whatever you're going to do with it?
Good question. Probably, like I said, Cronin. Yeah, he's like I said, I love enigmatic characters, and his placement on the roster is like, it's not out of place, but like, out of every newcomer that's been placed on it so far.
I hope they fix that glitch with Cronin.
Wait, there was a glitch? I didn't know
I did it in his combo video when I made the combo video for Cronin on the beta. The beta, Cronin could what was it? He did heavy DP. So he did heavy DP. It's the move where he just does like the flame, where like the flame goes up. Like he does that that thing where like he brings his hand down and then it just makes an explosion of fire that goes upward. So he does his heavy. If you anti-air somebody with that heavy DP and then you cancel into his not his climax, you cancel into his gun super. If you cancel into his gun super and you do the advanced version of it, not the regular version of it, you know, like where it's like you'll see like a blue spark. If you do the one where you see the red spark and then you hold the button down, what will happen is he'll charge it, right? He'll charge the super. He won't release it yet because it's supposed to be a giant explosion is what it is. If you do that and while you're charging, right, so you just anti-aired the character, right, so the character just got hit out the sky, the character will be flying far away from Cronin and will hit the ground, right? But before they hit the ground, you can sit there and charge it, right? And then when they finally hit the ground, it's messed up. It actually hits grounded. It's not supposed to. It's supposed to, if you were to shoot somebody with that super and they're on the ground, it's supposed to go flying right over their head. It's not supposed to do all of that. But if you hit them when they land on the ground, it does a stupid amount of damage for like no reason. And then on top of that, if you have enough meter, you can add his climax to that, which will kill you. Like Cronin had a really busted move. Like pretty much if you jumped, you were just gonna die. If you jump against Cronin, you will die. That's pretty much what it was. It was pretty busted. It literally takes out over 80% of your health bar. And it's pretty messed up. It takes out like 80%. Like say if you didn't have enough meter, if you only had like 2 bars. If you had 2 bars and you just did the DP, and then you just did the super after the DP, you're still taking out 80% of the health. It was some pretty busted shit. Yeah, he had that in the beta. I actually did that to a few people in some matches. So hopefully they took that out, or, well, not really took it out. Like, either they have to do 2 things. They have to take away the fact that he can hit somebody on the ground when he does the super, or they would have to just nerf the damage on that super. Just in case that happens. Yeah, they'd have to damage scale that super, or just take away the ability to hit somebody when they're grounded.
I don't think taking away that would be helpful to someone like Cronin, because it would just make him like a shitty character on debut. I do agree with the damage scaling, because the more hits that he lands, or better yet, if it's already a hit that's very impactful and it takes a chunk of health, it should feel more rewarding when you execute it in terms like with something else, like, but not where it does so much damage. So the scaling, it would be fair, because it would be like, okay, well, you executed that, but now you want to do max damage. It just depends on the certain move or what you cancel into, like, instead of just that one broken ass string. Like, I do agree with that though. Like, they fixed that, and he's a character I would stick with, because I don't want people to be like, yeah, you stuck with him because he's cheap. It's like, no, it didn't though.
Yeah, that does a lot of damage for only 2 hits. Like, that's an absurd amount of damage for him only landing 2 hits on you. Let's see, Majin said, for me, it was Bonejane, Iori, Chizuru, and 4th Cronin. Okay, cool. But yeah, you were saying Cronin mix-up. Who are the other 2 characters?
Let's see. I might just stick with his default team. Like, I know how to use Kula a little bit, and they don't really change her much per game. Like, yeah, I mean, they do. Like, obviously they nerf or they buff depending on where they see fit and everything, and they add new implements. But I think I might just stick with that team. But I also will say the one character I've never tried yet, since I haven't played those games a fair amount, is definitely Angel. So I'm excited to learn 2 new characters, because I feel like connecting with Kula again or reconnecting it would be easy, but like Cronin and Angel, I feel like those 2 including. So it's like that whole team, I would just pick the Cronin team.
Cronin team. Cool.
Peace.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. True. I already know Yashiro's a freaking beast. Oh my god, if anything of my damn videos have anything to say about it. Yeah, Yashiro's a freaking beast.
It's like a damn truck.
Yeah, the man literally is like a damn truck. Like, he's another character. I think they probably need to remove the damn super armor when he, or no, it's not even super armor, it's a full counter. Yeah, they probably need to remove the counter on his DP, because he's also another character that if you jump in on him, you're kind of asking to die. So, yeah. I think they need to give him a little slight nerf too. But no, he's not gonna be the first character I play though. First characters I'm gonna play is Gato, because I want to see how broken Gato is. Because Gato, him having that damn invisible projectile and that damn 3-way jump, you know, the same one that like Akuma has in Street Fighter. He's got a 3-way jump where you don't know what the hell he's gonna do, if he's gonna grab, kick, or punch you. Which he can do out of the air fireball that I seen in the in his trailer. I seen his gameplay. He did the invisible fireball into that 8-way jump, which was just nuts. So like his pressure is gonna be kind of stupid, and then like when you get in the corner, you're just gonna be pretty much shitting yourself when you go up against Gato. But yeah, Gato. Man, Gato, who else?
Oh, another team though.
I want to see Yuri. I want to see what Yuri's about in this game. I want to see if she's the same as 14. Because I always like how they change up Yuri. Yuri's moves always change depending on the game. So yeah, she's another one. But yeah, you were going.
Yeah, there was one thing. I was gonna say another character I would include, because I did say how much I do like her, and I was talking about it the other night. Definitely Bonajane, because I would love to style on people beating their ass with a shoe, like some Spanish mama with a chiclata. Like, I really...
You got that chanclet.
Yo! I would my shit connecting that every single time. I feel like it never gets old. Yo, because see, Team Rock, I did all right with Rock, especially in 14. Like, and Garo, I did use him a bit. I dabbled in him. Gato, I'm curious about him too. He does seem interesting. That addition did surprise me. Once I saw Bonajane, though, it was a wrap. I was like, yes!
If that's the case, you should put her as the anchor on your team. That way you always have enough meter to do the chunk.
Honestly.
Oh, man. But yeah, who did I say? I said Yuri, Yuri Gato. Okay, so Yuri Gato, who's gonna be the last one? I think I would want to play... I got to play Isla like twice. Okay. I know I won't be able to jump in with this character immediately, but I want to play the boss character. See how OD they are. I think like the very first thing I'll do is try to get the boss character unlocked, so... Yeah, so the boss character, and then Yuri and Gato. And then because I've made it a ritual now with KOF games where she appears, because sometimes she's hella busted. Vanessa's also going to be a part of that, but Vanessa will be like she'll be like the 4th pick. So after I'm done experimenting with those other characters, like, it'll definitely be her. She's nuts. Like, Jesus. She's crazy. I can't even imagine. I always look for the Vanessa Infinite, like, because what's crazy is, like, if you didn't know, Vanessa had an Infinite, what was it, in 2000? 2001. Then they got rid of it in 2002. And then she had a different variation of the Infinite in 11. And then they got rid of it in 14. So yeah, I always be checking for that Vanessa Infinite. So I definitely got to make it a point to do that. Because if she has it in if she has it in 15, that's gonna be ruining everybody's day. Make a whole punching team. Make a team of damn. Let's see. Make a team of fucking Vanessa, Yashiro, and who else punches a lot? I know there's another character on that roster that punches a lot.
I'm like thinking now too, because I'm trying to remember the roster. I don't have it up right now, but I know there's another puncher, someone who's really, I would say Ralph or Clark, but like that they're kind of like
probably, you know, Ralph.
That's,
yeah. But yeah, so what did we go over so far? We went over the characters that we're gonna play. We went over DLC, and we went over the story. So yeah, that seems like a good amount. And we're just about up at 2 hours, so I think I'm going to end it here, y'all. We got about 5 people up in the chat. I appreciate you guys for coming by. For anybody who's lurking, who is listening in on the, I guess you can call this a podcast, but yeah, listening in on the KOF talk. I appreciate y'all, and I hope you guys are going to be getting King of Fighters 15. If not on release, I hope that, like, at least down the road. I hope that this video or my videos on YouTube can sway you to buy some KOF, try it out. Definitely a great game. I mean, if you're used to playing Street Fighter and everything else, you're gonna be kind of in for a run for your money. Not gonna lie to you, but other than that, though, it is a great game if you actually stick with it.